This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Place to Be Nation, welcome back to another episode of Extreme Resurrection. I'm James Gruenberg, alongside with Michael Cook. Mike, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I apologize, no show last week, but I was at Disney and dealing with an appendix bursting, a cat getting sick, and what life throws at you. It was an interesting last, month or so.
Yeah, we all get those roller coasters here and there. So, Place to Be Nation and Extreme Resurrection fans, we have for you tonight a special episode. Mike and myself and our guest, who I'm going to introduce soon, we are going to be watching ECW's first pay-per-view under the new brand, December to Dismember. This is highly regarded as one of the worst pay-per-views of all time in WWE history. But let's bring in our guest before we hit that play button. He is he's one of the hosts of Pop Goes to the Classics on the Place to Be Nation pop feed, and he is the host of the Place to Be Nation Making Mount Rushmore pop edition, Mr. Steve Riddle. Steve, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. It's great to be here, and I'm ready to get extreme.
Yep. All right, gentlemen. Now, Steve, have you seen this pay-per-view before?
I have seen it before in its entirety. It's been a while since I have, so this is going to be an interesting watch, considering I do know what happens on the show, and it's more specifically the fallout of the show.
So you're aware, I don't know if you watched when you watched the pay-per-view back then, did you watch the ECW episodes leading up to this pay-per-view?
I did occasionally. I did watch as much as I could. There were some weeks I might have missed or not, but I did get kind of most of the full build for the show. Now, I didn't watch it live. I watched it on DVD when it came out. But I knew of the show and knew of, again, like I said, the fallout.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mike, have you seen this pay-per-view or seen this on DVD?
I have never seen this pay-per-view. My son was only a couple months old and really couldn't afford the pay-per-views. Obviously he's watching In and Out. And we've caught up to what it is. I mean, I knew what happened based on Raw the next night. But also, I didn't learn about the really fallout because I really wasn't doing the internet thing, with spoilers and all that type of stuff, probably for another 2 years, hearing, and then, obviously the more stories that we hear from, the podcast and stories that have come out.
Yeah, I've never seen this pay-per-view either, but again, I've seen the highlights of it, watching Raw the next night as well, and the next ECW show. So I know who came out victorious, and I kind of know what happens to Paul Heyman at the end. I didn't know if it was a real thing or not, but let's dive into this pay-per-view, and I'm going to give us a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and we will begin. In 3, 2, 1, play. Six men will enter this elimination chamber. I kind of like I always like the elimination chamber, concept going back to Survivor Series 02. And this one is more of a extreme elimination chamber with weapons in it. What do you think of this concept, Steve?
I thought it was definitely interesting. I thought it, if you're going to bring something like this to ECW, it would make sense to add that little like extreme element. I was gonna be very interested to see how they were gonna like incorporate all these weapons into this cage, which can itself be used as a weapon. So going in, it definitely was a very unique idea.
Now, didn't wasn't there a TNA thing similar with weapons in a cage?
Yeah, that was the extreme. It was like, I think they did that later in 2007, but they do it's called the like Lockdown Extreme Cage. They had the cage match at Lockdown always, but then they made it with like the weapons like I think a year later, like, as like Extreme Lockdown.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if who copied who.
Yeah,
well, I think in the original ECW, they occasionally had the cage matches with like the weapons attached to it, so it wasn't unusual.
Yep. So I love the color scheme for this pay-per-view. A little bit December festive. They're live in Augusta, Georgia here tonight.
And as we've discussed before, Gruney, I really think this pay-per-view should have been held in the Northeast. Nothing against anyone else, but we all know that, sort of like when they tried the WCW in 2001, they had it in Seattle or or Tacoma or whatever it was, instead of having it in Atlanta. Same thing. You want to try a first ECW pay-per-view? I think it should have been, even if it was the Hartford Civic, if you not go big, go Hartford Civic Center, go on Long Island, or something, or the Meadowlands Arena, something like that. But I really think this is also part of the kind of downfall, so to speak, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. They're the home team going into the away place.
I mean,
yeah,
although we can all live with this right now.
Oh yeah. So we have Joey Styles and Taz are our color commentators here tonight, along with the Spanish announced team. Steve, what'd you think of Eminem?
I thought they were definitely a very good team for the time. They kind of dominated SmackDown there for like almost all of 5 and 06. What I always thought was kind of interesting is like they did that whole big split up back in May, where I think they like lost the belts to London and Kendrick, and then they fought each other. And then, like, now here, only a few months later, they're back together like nothing happens. Kind of interesting about that. I also wonder, makes you wonder what they thought about Nitro singles push at this time.
I always thought when Nitro was going to be going with Bischoff, with the whole name.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty funny, too. Like, oh, man, Johnny Nitro, like, what is this, WCW? Oh, boy. Yeah, what'd you think of Melina there, Steve?
Hello, Melina.
Yeah. I thought that Steve, do you remember, because I thought that's what happened, did Joey Styles get fired or like suspended for having a drug problem after Judgment Day 06?
Joey Mercury, you mean?
Yeah, Joey Mercury, not Nitro.
Yeah, not Joey Styles.
Mercury.
Yeah,
that's Styles. Oh gosh,
yes, you did. No, I'm trying to remember what happened. It was I guess he got I think maybe he got like suspended or something. So that's why they did the split up, and then they moved Nitro and Melina over to Raw so that he could do his singles push. And I honestly. I don't. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think he was just serving like a brief suspension.
Yeah, because I knew that Teddy Long had fired them, and I knew that they made the move to Raw. But I think Joey Mercury actually did get fired or suspended from WWE. But now they're back, and the Hardy Boys are here to take on Eminem. Can't go wrong with the Hardy Boys, at least for something that says Extreme,
Oh yeah, definitely. course, Jeff, the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah. I forgot that Umaga had lost the Intercontinental title in 06 to Jeff because, he gets it. He gets it right back, because he loses it to Santino. So I think that this match, Steve, and the Extreme Elimination Chamber are the only two matches here that actually were announced. Like everything else is like we need to put stuff together for a to make a 3-hour pay-per-view.
I think you're right. Yeah, these were the only two announced. I think even on the DVD, they were the only matches actually put on the box there. So they didn't even include the other matches.
Yeah, so you can see here that Mercury and Nitro are saying how do we take down the Hardy Boys? I was a little bit shocked, because I saw Eminem. Eminem would do they were doing the house shows. Had the house show loop in 2005 because I saw them at the Danbury O'Neill Center, which is a college auditorium for a house show and SmackDown. And then you see them on TV. It's like, wait a minute, these guys were just on the house show loops. Now they're being brought to television. And I think that's when I found out what house shows are used. They're used for, hey, we're eventually going to bring this onto TV, but let's test the house loop,
Mm-hmm. I know they were I remember the buzz was them in OVW. They were getting really over before they got called up to the main roster in 05, and they were definitely a good breath of fresh air for the tag division that really that needed it at that time.
Yeah. I mean, the Hardy Boys are still good here. It was kind of cool. I remember when Jeff came back, it was like, oh man, Jeff Hardy's back finally. I think eventually he was going to come back. He just needed to at the right time.
Yeah, and I remember because I think Survivor Series was only 2 weeks prior to this show, and I remember all the big buzz about the Hardys being back together for the first time in however many years, and that was a big deal. And then they do this open challenge here, so yeah, it was a big deal for them to get back together.
Yeah. Now we have now that everyone's getting involved, we had Matt Hardy and Mercury starting things off. Yep, going over Jeff Hardy and Johnny Nitro's feud on Raw for the Intercontinental title as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were having some good matches at that time as well.
Yep.
Hey, can you guys give me a time code?
Just about 9 minutes in. We're about 8:55.
Mine, of course. Why would mine not pause?
Yep, we got a tag into Jeff Hardy. Just a little slow here. They're not pulling out the big stops, she says, yet, but that's what you need for a tag team, right? Some slow spots and, pick it up later, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here comes Nitro, a nice hip toss.
Were you guys fans of the Hardys at this time, even though, with everything that was going on?
I always thought that I was a fan of I was always a fan of Jeff. I liked Matt, but I was just always that Jeff Hardy fan. What about you, Steve?
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny when you think of the trajectory of their careers. It always seemed like Jeff was going to be the breakout star, but Matt kind of always carved himself out some good good runs there. He had the version 1 a few years ago, and then the feud when he came back with Edge, and they had some good stuff there. And it kind of felt like at this point that Matt was almost kind of spinning his wheels over on SmackDown. He just had the feud with Gregory Helms, and now putting it back here together with Jeff, kind of giving him a little something to do. I think Matt really gets into his groove about a year from now when he starts doing the whole feud and rivalry with MVP.
Yeah, I remember that feud as well. So I guess the Hardy Boys here are just here for show and tell. You got to either become tag team champions or you got to, try going on your own. And you can see that Jeff Hardy is the Intercontinental Championship, so he's holding his ground in that area. What about you, Mike? Were you a fan at this time?
Yeah, I mean, I liked them both. I mean, I was at the SmackDown with great alumni, our PTVN member or co-founder Chris Scolo there at the SmackDown at the Mohegan Sun when he made his official return.
Jeff or Matt?
Matt.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I really liked how that whole thing played out. I mean, it sucked it was real life, but it was really, really good.
Oh, wow. That was a nice, I don't know what you call it, not diving somersault, like almost like a shooting star press jump.
Too bad he missed it.
Yeah. Ooh, nice elbow drop by Matt. That the tag team match that Mike we saw was really good before this with Tony Mama, the FBI versus the Hardy Boys. They did this double team swinging neck breaker that was insane, right, Mike?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was definitely something new that they really haven't done, that you really haven't seen from them.
Yeah, but it was insane. Oh, Melina over there getting involved. Oh, where's Lita? Oh wait, that's not. Oh yeah, I forgot that Lita's gone by now. Actually, did she have her last match at Survivors? Was it Survivor Series?
No, it was the Raw match. It was her last match was the Raw main event. Her and Trish.
Oh no, but this is 06 though. No, Lita was gone here at Survivor. Yeah, no, because Trish beat Lita at Unforgiven 06 and retired, and then Mickie James beat Lita at Survivor Series 06.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because then after that match, Crime Time came out and auctioned off her stuff.
Yes. Okay. Yep.
Eminem here getting some good double team moves in. Yeah, I thought that Eminem had a really good run in 05 into 06. Here I just thought, well, they're trying to get them back together, but is it going to work or is it not going to work? I mean, when you try something twice, I feel like the Hardy Boys are on the Hardy Boys are on their second stretch of getting the band back together. More double team moves by Eminem. Ooh, nice face buster.
My Peacock has stopped working. So
I'm
trying to get it on the computer.
2. Ooh. Yeah, so the Hardy Boys, they were having matches with the FBI, Steve, and they've been doing pretty well. Me and Mike, we've been covering all the ECWs up until this point, actually. Mm-hmm. And they've been all right, here and there. The best one so far, whoa, nice reversal by Matt there. the best one so far was that Big Show Ric Flair Extreme Rules match back in August, where Ric Flair actually goes through the thumbtacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was definitely a memorable match.
And then the worst ECW so far was the Big Show versus Batista was the main event. And I think that ended up being like a double count out, which was so bad because like the fans were like, change the channel. Now they're trying to imitate the Hardy Boys. Oh, they landed it, stealing the Hardy Boys moves there. Didn't think they would be allowed to steal the Hardy Boys moves, but interesting spot from Matt. Oh boy, here we go. Trying to be the next Hardy Boys. Oh, he doesn't get that one. Ooh.
Oh.
Gets crossed up in the ropes, goes Nitro.
You know, going back to that, you talk about that Big Show Batista match. That was at the Hammerstein Ballroom, right?
It was, and
maybe that's why they didn't want to go back to the Northeast for this pay-per-view.
Yeah, because they were ruthless, and they were actually ruthless. The 4th of July ECW show too, when the Big Show became ECW champion. Got a nice.
That
was in Philly, if I remember.
Yeah, but they were brutal. They were just like really brutal there.
Oof.
But that's RVD's fault because RVD got busted. Yeah, 2006 has not been the best for RVD. He wins the Money in the Bank, he cashes in. But then, one little fatal error, one little stop, and it's down the drain. There goes the dive over the crossbody dive by Matt Hardy. Ooh, Nitro coming over the rope. Oh boy! Well, you knew everyone had to get a spotter, a jump in. Jeff. Oh. Always know that everyone's going to jump out. Oh, do a leap when it's the Hardy Boys versus somebody. If you can be the tag team to do leaps, It's like a car crash in I-19 over here. I think this is Taz. I-19 I-20 last time I checked. Ooh. Poetry in motion. Up, here we go. Twist of fate. And I thought it was over there, but Nitro saved them. That was a nice surprise. Jeff Hardy missing the swan time. Oh, what is Nitro going here? Oh, nice drop kick. Nice leaping drop kick. Nitro's got moves, doesn't he, Steve?
He does. You can see why they thought he would be a good singles guy.
Yeah, I mean he gets a good push next year as well. As me and Mike continue into ECW going into 2007.
Yeah, we've definitely have seen a lot of good things, but we've also talked about how the shows were either really good at the beginning and crappy at the end, or crappy all throughout and great main event. They were never consistent.
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna get good all around. You're gonna get some good and get some bad. So, Steve, let me ask you this. While we're watching, what did you think when Kurt Angle asked for his release in 2006?
It was a shocker. I mean, because he seemed like you figured he would be a guy that would be there for, he'd be a lifer, but I don't know if a lot of people knew the issues he was having like in his personal life at that time, and apparently he wanted to get off the road and have a little lighter schedule, and they I don't think it's that they didn't want to hit heed to his request, but I think they were at a time where they needed him, and I think he kind of realized that if he kept down that road, he wasn't going to end well for him. And I remember also when he had because it wasn't long after he left that he signed with TNA, and there was like a whole lot of kind of eyebrows raised there too, because it's like here's this guy who has all these problems, and he's going to the competitor. It's like what the hell? But I think and obviously when they talk about it on some of the other on some of the TNA podcasts, it probably ended up being the best thing for him.
Yeah, it definitely did seem like it was the best thing for Kurt Angle to leave, but who would know what would have happened if Kurt Angle had stayed? I could definitely see him being the guy to defeat the Big Show for the ECW title. Because I don't think they were going to go back with RVD. He had a shot when he was the WWE title too, with the WWE Championship too, and we all know just what happened. So I don't think that RVD was going to get the title back and put the trust back into him again.
I totally agree with you. I really don't think that would have happened.
Saw some good double team moves by Nitro and Melina. Melina plays the heel manager role really well. She trips up the Hardy Boys. She smacks the Hardy Boys around. Melina was a very good manager.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little bit of a like not that vicious, but a little bit of sensational Sherry vibes in her.
Especially with the screaming.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Nice little elbow dive by Nitro, too. So this match has been going pretty well. Good one to get the fans riled up and kicked off. I'm going to look at, I don't know what, Steve, do you remember what arena this was at? Because I know it's in Augusta, Georgia.
Hang on. I think I have it up here. It's called the James Brown Arena.
Oh, he must have been feeling good after this pay-per-view.
Or not.
Yeah. I don't think he was. He was like, man, what have I got myself into? I'm going back for Rocky VI. Jeff Hardy trying to get away from Mercury, trying to get the tag. Yeah, I always thought that Nitro was the breakout star with Eminem as well. Didn't really see Joey Mercury getting that push either. Ooh. Matt Hardy going on his face. I mean, we all know what happens to Joey Mercury the next pay-per-view.
Yep, and I think that was actually 2 weeks after this was Armageddon, and when he gets his face destroyed.
Yeah, I find it really crazy that they are not crazy, but I guess during like this time period they were putting on like 2 pay-per-views a month almost, because you had Taboo Cyber Sunday it was called. Yeah, they switched it, Cyber Sunday. And then they went to, Survivor Series. Oh! Whisper in the Wind by Jeff. Nice reversal there. So then they did Survivor Series after Cyber Sunday. Now they got this on in December, and then they go to Armageddon. So a lot of running around, trying to focus on three different shows at one time.
That's why I still don't understand why they did what they did at the end of this pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah. Oh, a bulldog in a clothesline by Matt Hardy. Side effect? Is that the side effect? Yeah, it is.
Yep, side effect.
Another one. I always liked the best side effect Matt Hardy did was off the stage with Edge in that street fight right there when the whole stage exploded. You remember that one, Steve?
Yes, I do remember that one. That was a crazy. That was a crazy bump that they took.
Yeah, it was like, oh my god, no! Oh, Matt doing the signature leg drop. Ooh, lands it. Only for a 2 count. Tag back into Jeff. I think they should give him Jeff more rest period time. I don't know what they're trying to do here, but what the heck? Oh, nice Hurricanrana by Nitro.
That could have gone bad so many ways.
I don't know. It was too fast to like really see how it could have gone bad, but I'll take your word for it. Now all 4 men are in the ring, so we got Nitro on the top rope up, but now both of them are going to be on the top rope. Eminem here. Double suplex. Yep. Oh, and both Eminem guys get suplexed. Melina trying to get up in there. Oh, how many times have we seen Jeff try and lay it down with the girls? 1, 2. Ooh, only a 2 count.
I thought he was going to plant a kiss on her at first before.
I know. I thought he was going to go the old Stacy Keibler route, you know, like at least plant the kiss or smack the butt or, you know. Oh,
snapshot.
Snapshot, yeah.
Boom.
1, 2. Oh, Matt Hardy makes a save. I forgot that's what it was called. It was called the snapshot. Yep. That's what they used on Eddie Guerrero. It was either Eddie Guerrero or Rey Mysterio to become the tag team champions the first time. There you see a nice shot of Melina on the ground. I don't know what they're trying to do here, but looks like just another soup. Yeah, and
they're gonna. No, I think they said they were trying for like a super snapshot.
Oh, maybe a super snapshot. Yeah.
Oh,
that a double twist of fate?
Yep.
Oh no, he called it double neck breaker, but you know. Now Jeff Hardy going for the Swanton Bomb.
Nailed it.
Did and
that should
1,
be it.
2, 3. Ding, ding, ding.
Yep.
So the Hardy Boys are the winners of this match, this tag team match here. A lot of fans still behind the Hardy Boys here. So, Steve, what would you what would you give this as a star rating?
I think I'd go 3 1/4. Some good solid, action between the two teams. I like the double heat segment that Eminem did on both men. Crowd was pretty hot for the whole match. They popped for the big spots when they needed to, and it's about as good of a tag opener as you could probably get. So we're off to a good start so far.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 3. I'm gonna give it 3 stars as well. Really good double team moves, and the finish was good. But the crowd was really behind the Hardy Boys here. Mike, what did you think of it?
Well, since I only saw the entrance because then my Peacock stopped working, I'm going to give it a 3 too because I trust your guys' judgment.
Okay.
I am trying to get back on Peacock.
There you see oh wow. Yeah, Peacock's been up and down all over the place. But yeah, the Hardy Boys are your winners of this first year match.
And it's funny because during the current pay-per-views and everything, I never had any issues, ever. Like, I see people saying it's freezing or whatever. I've never had any issues.
Must be a lucky guy, Mike.
Except now.
Yeah.
So what's your timestamp, guys? If I can...
Hold on, I'll get it to you. I got 31:22. 31:30. Talking about the elimination chamber, Extreme Elimination Chamber. Table, a chair, a crowbar, and mostly a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. What'd you think of the baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire, Steve? It's got to be a good weapon of choice for a match like this for ECW, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I thought the weapons they chose were pretty. I mean, you have like I said, the standard, the chair, and the table. I thought the crowbar was a very interesting weapon of choice for that. And then the barbed wire bat. I think a lot of people were anxious to see how often that weapon was probably going to get used.
Yeah. Now we have RVD over here giving us exclusive interview. Because he's saying that he's ready to put everything on the line to become the ECW champion again. Because when you think ECW, you think RVD. And that is true. Like, when I do think of ECW, you think of RVD. So I feel that they could have gone back, but I don't think they were because, just the whole incident. What did you think of when RVD got suspended and he loses the ECW title to the Big Show? Did you ever think they would go back to Van Dam, Steve?
More likely, no. I mean, I think if they were in a spot where they had no other options, they probably would have, just because they know that he was, he's obviously going to be, over enough to do so. But yeah, I think it was at that point because I think a lot of people probably thought that the trigger should have been pulled on him when he first came in 2001. So by the time he did win Money in the Bank and then won the belt, I think that was pretty much going to be the one time that they were going to do it. And then he ends up screwing it for himself. So I think at that point his window had closed completely.
Yeah, just. Make sure when you get pulled over, you don't have anything on you.
Are you guys in the commercial or out of it?
No, we are actually with Matt Striker's in the ring right now. Yeah, so it's Matt Striker versus Balls Mahoney. So this is a match that basically just got thrown together because they needed more than just 2 matches to be on this pay-per-view. But Mike, we were going back and saying that the ECW Extreme Elimination Chamber and the tag team match that we just saw were the only 2 matches that got promotional airtime for this pay-per-view.
And that's also part of the reason why it's regarded as, one of the worst pay-per-views of all time. I mean, you can't do much when you don't promote it. I mean, especially when you don't have the name power.
Yeah, now I like Matt Striker when he came in because I thought for a second he was gonna beat Kurt Angle for his gold medals.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool though, the whole teacher thing, and then finding out that he actually got fired from his job because he was a real teacher in New York.
and he was lying about what he was doing with all of his time, time off.
So what's your timestamp, guys? And then
I
gotta pull it
have
back on.
I have 35.
Okay, yeah, I'm a few seconds. I'm only like 2-3 seconds behind you.
Okay.
Yep.
There we go.
So
I'm at
now,
38, 39. Okay.
Yeah. I have the premium Peacock, so I don't have to deal with those ads.
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh, I don't on my TV, but I have to. I'm watching on the computer now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So now Matt Stryker is trying to lay down his school rules in ECW arena. I kind of like the Balls Mahoney leather jacket. I thought this was a cool character, just like, I mean, this is like what the school would need, one badass rebel, and Balls Mahoney is playing the character, the teacher versus the badass. It's like John Bender versus what was the principal's name in the Breakfast Club?
I'd have to look it up.
Oh, jeez, it's gonna kill me now. Well, this is what it feels like.
Hold on,
Mr. Vernon, yes, Mr. Dick Vernon,
yes, that's right.
It's Bender versus Dick Vernon here.
Yeah, he was played by Paul Gleason.
Yep, Mr. Vernon.
Nice fashion sense here for a Stryker with those tights, especially with his face on his ass there.
Yeah. Oh my God, what kind of a fashion statement is that? Balls Mahoney's got his eyes pierced. Stryker trying to tell Balls Mahoney and the referee they have to play by the rules. It's so bad when they scrunch up. Mike, do you see Matt Stryker's outfit here?
It was very creative, I guess.
Yeah. That's
I love the Argyle knee pads.
They always like to talk about how Mahoney was an amateur wrestler back in the day, but I think he got banned or something because he was too violent.
Oh God, yeah, that was a bad leap by Balls Mahoney. Balls Mahoney cannot be leaping. Got a cross arm breaker. Yeah, sadly, Balls Mahoney is no longer with us. He passed away. I think he either had I know it was like a drug-related issue, so it might have been like a heart attack or something. But I know that he's gone. Did you know that Balls Mahoney passed away, Steve?
I did know. I remember when the word came out. When the word came out about it, that was one of those like, holy crap, because it's one of those guys you never really, he had kind of disappeared for such a long time that you never really thought about it. Then when he popped up, you was like, oh my God, it's and I was just kind of watching it. I'm just kind of reading now. Yeah, and said it was a heart attack, and they also said that I guess when they did his autopsy that he had CTE as well, which if you watch some of his matches in the old ECW and all those freaking unprotected chair shots he took, it's not shock.
Yeah, it's really not.
And it's funny because they were their family did the lawsuit with WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did not know that either.
He was watching Jeopardy when he had his heart attack.
Wow.
April 2016. 44 years old. A day after his 44th birthday.
Day after, wow. Just turned 44.
Yeah, that was the other thing that he was so young.
You know what's funny is, you look at it now, and I hear them, they talk about like Hogan back in the day and Flair in the back of the day, talk about how old. But look at like Jericho and AJ Styles and Cena and everyone now. 44 would be considered prime.
Yeah, because Jericho's like 50 or something now, right?
Right. And I mean, look at Edge. Isn't Edge 48? And he's looking like he's, he was 10 years ago.
Right. I mean, Rock just turned 50. Rock just turned 50. So
yeah,
he still looks great.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully, we do get to see The Rock come back and fight Roman.
Do you ever watch the show Young Rock?
I do from time to time.
I haven't had a chance to see it.
They set something up with little Roman, like when they were all watching wrestling, and he's like climbing on top of Rock, when Rock was like just in college, and he's like, acknowledge me, Dewey, and he's like, let's fight, and the Rock goes, no man, the only way we can fight is the main event of WrestleMania.
Hopefully that does happen. So we got Balls Mahoney here, coming back against Matt Striker.
Every time he does the punches, match. The crowd always chants balls.
Yep. Balls, 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 balls. Oh, he's doing it. Oh, got hurt on that one. So, Steve, did you have, because I noticed in the crowd as well, did you have the WWE 24/7 on-demand channel?
No, that I did not have. I'd always wanted it, but I never had a chance to get around to it. I didn't really get any of the streaming services until the network launched in 2014.
Oh, okay, yeah. Ooh.
Were you able to get it that first day?
I think I did, yeah.
I remember, I think I got it finally at night. Like, it just kept calling and calling. And the first thing I watched was Over the Edge. Because I had
99 or
98 or I was about to say 98 or 99.
98.
Okay.
So WWE 24/7 launched in 2004. They were plugging it. I did not get it until 2007. The cable company that I was with was Charter, and they did not have it. I don't know if other people's cable companies back in 2005 had it, but it took me 2007 to get it.
See, we had Telemedia, and then it became Comcast, and they had it. I just never got it. Didn't have time. But it definitely wasn't. I mean, now that I'm older and stuff, this was definitely something.
Oh, jeez.
The network was awesome.
That's got to hurt on Striker right there. It was a small balls. Yeah, Striker landed hard on his hip, huh, Steve?
Mm-hmm.
Spine buster. Sit down powerbomb. Oh, we got it. So Balls Mahoney out of nowhere winning with the sit down. I don't know, diving power bomb right there.
What are you talking about?
So Balls Mahoney wins. I'll give it a 1.5. What do you think, Steve?
I'd say 1.25. It was okay. Basic stuff for both guys. Not sure why Balls needed to win. I think because I know that they were looking at Striker as a potential, top level heel. So it didn't really make sense for especially, given that he had, put all those rules in place for him to lose. I think it would have been better if he had won either just clean to prove that he was the better wrestler, or he used the chicanery, like, cheating to win. I think it would have made for a better story.
I colored in the pencil.
So here is our first,
like a black Sharpie at school.
Here's our first new
make a more cartoonish look, like an Eevee is.
Yep.
Here's our first surprise tonight. Sabu gets attacked from behind, and he is going to be taken out of the Extreme Elimination Chamber.
Yep. Here's where the downfall begins for the show.
Yeah. Did you have an idea on why you think Sabu got taken out of this match, Steve?
I don't know. I know there was he was having his own issues, behind the scenes from what I heard. Like he was, caught sleeping backstage or stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just that maybe it's just, again, they're wanting to make sure that to not take some of the heat take some of the heat away from Lashley. So to get one of, because they know Sabu's going to get a good pop. So I guess, they figure just write him out here so that Lashley doesn't get any, doesn't split any pops.
Yeah, I know. But, they were going to pop hard for RVD anyway, too, because, they loved RVD, but.
And for Punk.
Yeah. So my thing is, because we've been watching ECW up until this point, is that Vince McMahon did not trust Sabu from the start either. Like, and you can tell in his matches that he is very, very sloppy in the ring as well. So Sabu, I think, was on the breaking point with Vince McMahon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because which is funny considering how well of a push he got in the summer. I mean, he got the match with Cena at Vengeance, and then he got a SummerSlam match with Big Show. So, I mean, they treated him well that summer. But yeah, by this point, I think he was one of those guys just wanting to get out.
Yeah, and he was very, very sloppy.
I mean, there had to be some stuff backstage.
Yeah, and it seemed that it was very, very sloppy work by Sabu. So I think that Vince was like, I cannot trust this guy in this sort of match, and I'm going to take him out. So now we have Sylvester Terkay and Elijah Burke. I thought Sylvester Terkay was going to do something, but it's like Elijah Burke ends up actually getting more of a push than Sylvester does. And now we have the full-blood Italians of Tony Mamaluke and Little Guido, along with Trinity.
Hachimachi.
Wow. I'm sure Vince was not hating this. Maybe Trinity should have gotten a push. I don't know. Yeah, Elijah Burke was, Sylvester Terkay was not long for ECW nor a WWE wrestling career.
Mm-hmm.
So Sabu got attacked in the back by he got attacked in the back by somebody, and he's going to be taken out of the stretcher, and he's going to be taken out of the Extreme Elimination Chamber. I like Elijah Burke's hairstyle with the hat too, and the dreads sticking out of the hat too. He's smacking them around. Elijah Burke had a WrestleMania match at WrestleMania 23 when we get there. Part of the ECW New Breed, as they were trying to launch. I didn't think that Matt Striker belonged in ECW. But I guess they just need heels, and they needed for him to do something.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, some of these guys, it's like they would be on Raw and SmackDown for a little bit, then it's kind of like, oh, let's just let's just move them over here. Because I think Turkai and Burke had debuted on SmackDown a few months prior. Then like not long after they got shipped to ECW, which was kind of a weird choice.
Yeah,
well, I think with
no, go ahead, Mike.
I think with Stryker, it was more that Vince can really see on his speaking ability, and not many of the ECW gang could really talk.
Nice double team move by the FBI here. That nice double clothesline. Yeah, Matt Stryker does have the talking ability and promos to cut. Oh boy, here comes Sylvester Terkay. And he does look big and brute here. Can you imagine getting into a kickboxing contest with this guy here? Trinity trying to get the crowd pumping while Tony Mamaluga is getting pummeled. Oh, whoa. It's gotta hurt. Oh boy, well, Guido got caught. Oh, oh boy, whoa. Sylvester Terkay is dominating in this ring. He's making it his ring. God, this is ECW's yard. This is Sylvester Terkay's yard.
Yeah, I mean, Terkay definitely seems like a Vince guy, but he just seems too generic, I think. Maybe that's why they kind of took the focus off of him and made Burke the star.
Yeah, because I mean, it looks like Sylvester Terkay's just another big guy, but all he has is like power slams. It doesn't seem like he's got anything special to him except for the brute strength. He's not like he's Kevin Nash where he can do that big boots. Although Sylvester did seem well by just tossing FBI one by one over the top rope. I remember when Little Guido, I did not know Little Guido in ECW. I was all new to ECW. So when Little Guido came in, I knew him as Nunzio, as Jamie Noble's cousin. Little did I know that he was the FBI guy in ECW. Oh, that's Little Guido. So I would be told, you know that guy like wrestled in ECW back in the day. I was like, no, you mean he's somebody else? He was like, yeah, that was Little Guido back in the day, just repackaged. And he had the FBI there with Johnny Stamboli and Chuck Palumbo there. Oof. 1, 2. Some Mamaluke breaking it up. Yeah, Elijah Burke will get a push with ECW in 2007. A lot of the guys that were brought back for ECW in 2006, either they end up getting released or they're just not being used. We saw like Danny Doring and Roadkill on ECW in 2006, and then Roadkill's gone. So a lot of the ECW talent that got brought in, they're gone. I believe that Just Incredible's probably gone at this time. So, not really what people thought it was going to be. And I think, Steve, also, people were thinking that it was going to be the invasion angle all over again, where either the ECW guys aren't getting in or, that they're just going to be looked to get squashed. So, a lot of invasion things as well.
Yeah, I never thought of it. I thought of it that way, and there's the win.
Yep. So Elijah Burke, Mike's having technical difficulties. So Steve, you and I will just continue it. All right.
Okay.
All right. So now Sylvester Terkay. Oof.
Yes, Samoa Joe, he is not.
No, that was a muscle buster. I don't even know if you can call that a muscle buster. Muscle buster. It looked like it, though.
Yeah. I think some of the crowd actually chanting TNA after that because you notice Burke, his finisher was basically was the stroke that Jeff Jarrett uses.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe even name dropped it. Muscle Buster. That's the Muscle Buster.
Yep. So again, one of these filler matches, but again, they needed stuff to do. So this again is another match that gets added to the show. So now we see Sabu getting loaded up into the ambulance. He's going to be taken out, but CM Punk. Steve, what'd you think of when CM Punk debuted for WWE?
I mean, it was a big deal. I mean, I know a lot of people were shocked at the time that he was going to go because he seemed like the most like anti WWE guy, at that time, and there was all that news and the big stuff he did in 2005 where he signed with them, but he also won the Ring of Honor title, and they did the whole Summer of Punk, and then I think him joining ECW was the smart idea because he's obviously a guy that Paul Heyman, he's his kind of guy, so you knew going in that Paul was gonna push him as hard as he could. So I mean, it was definitely a big deal when he came in.
Yeah, I remember seeing him versus Just Incredible and thought, oh, this guy's got something. But at the same time, he was just having like all these short matches here and there. Like, they were just squash matches with, either they were the jobbers or they were some of the low-level ECW talent, like, Steven Richards. And then you had the whole Mike Knox thing where it was like, he's just submitting guys left and right. So we don't really know what Punk's all about because he's not having the matches that he's supposed to be having, where we don't know a lot of his style. We know that he's like all the jiu-jitsu and everything, but his matches are too short.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did have his that big moment at the Survivor Series when he was on when he teamed with DX and the Hardys against Rated RKO's team. And I mean, he was definitely the most over guy in that group, to the point that Triple H even let him do the "Are you ready?" for the crowd. Now, granted, they were in Philly, so he was going to get a huge reaction nonetheless. But still, it was definitely. I think you could definitely tell something that that he had something, some connection with the crowd there. So now we've got our next match here. We got speaking of more SmackDown castoffs, Daivari and Great Khali.
Yeah, so I remember that they were doing like, this is what I call a dropped angle that got picked up again, because I remember that the Great Khali and Tommy Dreamer had a match, and then the Great Khali interfered, but then they just like dropped it because, Tommy Dreamer's not on TV, and they weren't really using the Great Khali, and it's like this is back on again, so it's not even Great Khali versus Tommy Dreamer. It is Tommy Dreamer versus Daivari. So I would like to say that this got dropped and got picked back up again. The innovator of violence here, having a match with Daivari. So here's a good question, Steve. If they don't want Sabu because he's sloppy, why not just have Tommy Dreamer? But I mean, I know who they're going to go with. I guess they wanted a heel, but if Vince really just didn't, trust Sabu, why not play Tommy Dreamer? Maybe that's because Tommy Dreamer didn't want to be in the spotlight of the match, or Vince didn't want him. But I know that with Tommy Dreamer, he doesn't want to make it all about him. That's how. So, Tommy is, the most unselfish person ever. He put a lot of people over and was it's not about me. That was Tommy's motto. I'm here to make other people look good. But I think Tommy could have had Tommy could have had a great moment here if he was in the Extreme Elimination Chamber. What about you, Steve?
Oh, I agree. I mean, he is the heart and soul of ECW. So I think it would have definitely made sense to do that. And I think there's also another guy that could have fit really well in there. I'm sure we'll talk about him later. But yeah, I mean, I think at this point they just saw Dreamer as the guy to put these guys over. Hence why they have him here with Daivari.
Yep. But so suplex by Tommy. Oh, Great Khali just pulls him right out. And now he's just like, hey, did you pull him over? Yeah, you did. You're out of here. Also, he kicks out the Great Khali. Oh, man. Look at the... Oh, gosh. Again, another generic... What'd you think? Another generic big guy by Great Khali or an actual threat?
Well, I mean, they clearly thought Khali could be their next big giant. I mean, the fact that they had him beat The Undertaker clean back at Judgment Day spoke volumes of what they thought about him. But I think by this point they kind of saw maybe that because it's so weird what happened. So he beats Taker at Judgment Day. Then they're supposed to have a rematch at the Bash, which I think was at that Punjabi prison. But then he has the liver enzyme issue. It gets pulled, and then I think they have I think it was a last man standing match on SmackDown, which Taker wins, and then he disappears for a bit. Then he's shows up inexplicably here as Daivari's muscle. So it's just, I don't know if they've lost faith in him already, because I mean we'll see what happens to him in a few months in 2007, but yeah, he's just really weird the trajectory here of Khali.
Yep. Nice little neckbreaker hold by Daivari. Yeah, when the Great Khali walked in with The Undertaker, I was like, what is going on? Who is this guy? And I thought Undertaker was going to meet his match. Although those two fans in the crowd have the foam kendo sticks, I guess ECW must have been trying to market that as a new item for sale.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I did notice that too. They're probably bashing their heads together at this point, thinking, "Why did we spend money to come to the show?" So when ECW in 2006 came back,
they were going to have a show at the Danbury O'Neill Center, which is the college auditorium at Western Connecticut University College. And I got front row tickets. And I'm thinking about it, was like an ECW house show. I was like, that's got to be really cool. The night of my freshman homecoming dance, a guy from the ticket outlet was like, yeah, this event has been canceled. We'll refund your money. And that's when it was like SmackDown and ECW were combining, but they didn't redo the show. Because I guess they finally realized that ECW could not make it on its own. So they had to do the house show loop with SmackDown and ECW combined.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember being like, oh man, I got front row tickets to the house show. Might have been like the only people who got those tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, Tommy Dreamer. Oh, little Dusty. Excuse me, little Dusty Rhodes action there with the flip flop and flies. Backdrop by Dreamer 1, 2, and Bird DDT. Yep, 2 count. So at this point, do you think Tommy Dreamer's past his prime here?
I don't say completely past his prime. I mean, I don't think he's a guy that's gonna be the star of your brand. I think he's where he is he's in a good spot as the guy, as kind of like the gatekeeper for the mid card, kind of that guy that if you have somebody that you want to push to the next level, have him feud with him, and he can get him over.
Yeah, that was a terrible splash by Daivari. Oh man, Daivari is tied up in the corner. Oh, drop kicks to the face by Tommy Dreamer. Was he setting him up? Nope, Daivari's got him. 2. Oh, dang. Woof.
Oh,
Got him with a surprise pin, but he grabbed the tights. I'm gonna give that. I'll give it a star and a quarter. My star and a quarter, Steve.
yeah, that's star and a quarter sounds about right. Again, it was like, and by the way, for the tag match we did, the previous tag match, I went a star and a half on that one. But I mean, yeah, technically it was okay, but I mean, this is what TV's for. These last 3 matches we have are stuff you would see on TV, not on a paid show.
Oh, Great Khali just slammed him.
I don't know. I think that was kind of unnecessary for Dreamer to do.
Yeah, Tommy Dreamer's back has got to be killing him by now. Oh my God! Yeah, so Tommy Dreamer just got slammed into the steel stage by the Great Khali after Daivari gets that pin. Let's watch this again. Oof.
Oh, slow motion too.
Tommy Dreamer does not be needing to take falls like that, but even at Tommy Dreamer age now, he does. I mean, he still does some shows up in Philly with Rob Feinstein and the whole RF video, some of those like wrestling shows. Tommy's up there wrestling.
I mean, well,
I know that
his mentor was Terry Funk, so I mean,
yeah. I know that referee, that's Mickey J over there to the left. He actually just recently passed away. I think like a month or two ago.
oh yeah, that's right. I remember seeing that too.
That was a shock. I was like, he seemed like the nicest one. He seemed like one of the nice referees from what everyone said.
Mm-hmm.
All Tommy Dreamer trying to walk it off. Tommy Dreamer trying to give one for the fans and be the definition of ECW. ECW does respect Paul. ECW does respect Tommy Dreamer. That's for sure. So now we have Paul Heyman versus not Paul Heyman versus, but Paul Heyman talking with Hardcore Holly. Hardcore Holly was back from, I believe, from an injury. The last thing before Hardcore Holly coming to ECW that I remember was that he was tag teaming with Charlie Haas back in 2005. And I knew that he was in 2005, like on the SmackDown card in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of that? Paul Heyman just gave Hardcore Holly a Sabu spot, so Hardcore Holly gets what he wants. But what did you think of that Hardcore Holly Rob Van Dam Extreme Rules match? The one where the table got all up in Hardcore Holly's back.
Yeah, that was nasty. I mean, that looked like it just like hurt like hell for Holly. And I think and I remember there was like a lot of he kind of got a lot of respect from the fans for not only taking that bump but finishing that match with that injury. And I think after the match he got a standing ovation. So it's like, if they ran with that and had him as a face, I think it actually could have worked. But instead they kind of turned him back into a heel, and it just kind of killed a little bit of that momentum he had coming off that injury.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Steve. I was listening, but I kind of got distracted by Kelly here. Wow. And here is Mike Knox. Oh boy. If there was actually if grass is green, this guy is greener than grass.
Kelly just like kind of secretly wished Punk luck in the chamber.
Yeah, this match has been going on for this storyline has been going on for so long of Mike Knox and CM Punk, and it's like, how long does this thing go on for?
Yeah, and they're not even fighting here. Instead, we got this like really weird ass mixed tag here. It's Knox and Kelly against Kevin Thorne and Aria, who, by the way, talk about Hachimachi, freaking Ariel here.
Yeah. I wish I would have been Joey Styles those last couple of weeks on ECW. She's literally just dancing in front of Joey all those times, just jumping on him. And I was like, oh, I wish I was Joey Styles right here. Isn't this Shelly Martinez?
Yes.
Yeah. Ariel is Shelly Martinez. Yep. I met her at the Police Academy League building, Shelly Martinez. And I just realized, I was like, wait a second. She's like, yeah. I was like, you were Ariel? Yep, I was Ariel. Thank you. I liked Kevin Thorne. I was watching a lot of his his ECW shows. He does like the Razor's Edge as his finisher.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 heels basically going at it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got 3 heels, and the only face of the match is Kelly, basically.
Yep.
It is funny kind of seeing Knox here looking like that, knowing what he looks like in a few years with like the long hair and the long scraggly beard on Raw and SmackDown.
Oh my gosh, I thought he was let go in 2007. I don't even remember like when I didn't even remember like that he was on Raw and SmackDown.
Oh yeah, he got I think he like feuded with Rey Mysterio for a little bit. He actually got into what's it, 2010 I think it was, in one of the chamber matches for the WWE titles. So
holy
he got a little bit of a mini push there in late 09 and into early 10.
Wow. You would have thought it was all over after Survivor Series 2006 when Shawn Michaels was like, who was that? I do like Kevin Thorne's outfit. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know it's all about the eye candy, but this vampire gimmick seems very interesting. At least you're not making him come out in like full Dracula. I don't even think like he's supposed to be a vampire. What's like a warlock he's supposed to be?
He's got the fangs.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think the whole deal was like, yeah, I don't think the whole thing was like he was supposed to be a vampire. I think they said he was like into like bike clubs or whatever, that sort of thing. Which it's funny. This guy's got like, the guy's, when he first came out in 04, he was Mordecai. And now a few years later, here he is as Kevin Thorne. It's, just these weird characters for him.
He went from white to black, and it was like, wow, he really did go from heaven to hell, did he not?
Yeah.
They thought he was going to be like the next Undertaker WrestleMania opponent, like at one point.
Well, I think
were they sadly mistaken?
Yeah, I think they had, and I think if I remember in 04, like right after he debuted, they pegged him for like a feud with Eddie, but then he got like taken off TV after only like 2 months.
Yeah, because he was beating, like, he was doing the jobbings to Scotty 2 Hotty, where he was just beating the crap out of Scotty 2 Hotty. So that's going to get you far. Yeah, not a lot of tagging going on for the women, so the men are going to have to do most of the work here.
Mm-hmm. The crowd's probably thinking, why the hell are we watching this?
Yep.
It's almost like they were trying to go for Mark Mero Sable versus Goldust and Luna from WrestleMania 14. Though none of these people are even close to those four. Like,
no.
Kelly is definitely no Sable.
Yeah, Kevin Thorne gets foot on the rope now, and I mean, Kevin Thorne looks more like Gangrel, if anything.
I remember there was like rumor that they wanted to bring Gangrel in to be with Thorne and Ariel to like complete like the vampire group there.
Did Gangrel lose enough weight for Vince McMahon's liking? Because I heard that's why Gangrel got fired in the first place. Vince saw him with his stomach sticking out and fired him on the spot. We have, I don't know what you want to call it, just a typical wrestling move. So Ariel actually tags in. Standard wrestling moves by Mike Knox. Oh, Ariel wants to get your woman in the ring. Get her in the ring right now. Ariel sort of has the Daphne vibes going too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Screaming Daphne.
I've been my chrono watch has been 2000. I've been in 2000, and 2000 WCW doesn't have a lot going for it, but I will say like that early part of the year, the Daphne David Flair Crowbar like trio was actually one of my like guilty pleasures of WCW.
Yeah, are you talking about like the February of like 2000, or are you talking about like June of 2000?
Like January, February, like
Okay.
right before
Yeah.
right before the reboot in April.
Right before the reboot. Okay, because that feud, well, I mean, it goes on and off, like in also like the summer months too. But yeah, no, David Flair, Crowbar, and Daphne were a really good thing. Look at the legs here by Ariel. Oh, some nice shots by this camera, man. Kelly's like, why am I in here? I don't wrestle. Apparently, it was Vince McMahon who taught her how to dance.
Well, to be fair, I know we're still a little bit away from Extreme Expose, but she was definitely being carried by Layla and Brooke in that group.
I mean, yeah, if you think about it, what the dang little shake from Ariel there. Yeah, well, Layla has. I read on Layla's biography that she had Miami Heat cheerleading experience as well. Miami Heat dancer. Oh, and Mike Knox is running away. So typical stuck-up boyfriend running out on his girl here to be fed to the vampires or the wolves at this point. Wow. Well, this Mike Knox's character is supposed to be the jealous boyfriend here. But Kelly had to come. I mean, you don't say congratulations. Oh, a 1, 2, 3. A really weird choke slam maneuver. I don't know. What do you want to call that, Steve? I'm going to give it 3/4 of a star.
Yeah, I'll give it a star. It was fine just more seemingly more just typical TV tag match.
Do you think Kevin Thorne could have been a oh wait, no, what do we got here? Do we have the Sandman? Oh, it is him.
Now, see, you want to talk about people that could have been in the Extreme Elimination Chamber? What about Sandman?
I know. I thought he was in the Elimination Chamber. I keep on forgetting who our 6 competitors are, but now I remember. It's like, oh, it's Van Dam, it's Punk, Test, Big Show, Hardcore Holly, Bobby Lashley. Yep, Sandman could have been in the match too. So my mom's one of my mom's old high school roommates, she knew she was a distant relative of Captain Lou Albano.
Oh, wow.
And I think it was like his 70th birthday party that she was talking about. And the Sandman ended up getting arrested that night at Captain Lou Albano's 70th birthday party.
That's not
and
surprising.
She was like, I wasn't there for that, but yeah, he got really drunk and started slurring a lot, and then he got arrested, like 6 hours later.
Wait, Sandman getting really drunk? No, saying it
Yeah,
so.
no, you wouldn't think, right? You thought it was Diet Coke. It wasn't Diet Coke. Yeah. My mom's friend was like, Sandman got arrested at the Capitol Badass party. Yep, so Sandman, Kanan, Kevin Thorne there. Good old beer, smacking my head with it.
That was the only time the crowd got excited during the whole like last 10 minutes was when he came out.
Yeah. It's like, dude, you dropped the Sandman's beer. Oh, my friend at the my coworker buddy, we went to a independent show in at the Danbury Police Academy League building, and Sandman poured beer on him, and he was sipping out of it in his mouth. So that was hilarious. Waterfalling it. Yes, that's what it's called, waterfalling it. Good old James Brown Arena in ECW December to Dismember. That's got to be the worst lighting ever. Like, the Raws get flashier lights than that. ECW here. Forget who this is. Is this No, that's not Brooke.
No, what was her name?
Alexa?
No, it's Rebecca?
Rebecca, that's who it is. Now we're going over the so basically everyone is getting a little flashbacks here and there of why they're here in the ECW Elimination Chamber. Bobby Lashley signed the contract as the last participant for the ECW to become the ECW contender for the ECW Chamber. That's where it was going to be Parkour Holly. You see this nice boot by Test and these double teams by the Riot Squad, which are the Basham brothers. Mm-hmm. Doug and Danny Basham. Ooh. Big Show here making a statement that Lashley is not walking out of the ECW Elimination Chamber as champion. It's not going to happen, Lashley. Big Show is going to retain. Thought it was a good go-home edition going into this pay-per-view, though. You get the double team at the end for Lashley to not have doubt that Lashley is going to make it out alive as the ECW champion, but also Test going into a no contest because with CM Punk. I thought that was really good. Test is a very good athlete here, and also you have CM Punk too, so they couldn't have them go looking bad going into this ECW Extreme Champion Chamber match as well, the pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. So I guess we're already here at the
main event.
Right here at the main event. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm always at like a loss for words on these things. Again, we do apologize, folks. Mike Hook had technical difficulties, but I just want to say thank you to Steve for filling in and being my tag team partner here tonight. When one man goes down, someone comes in.
Yeah, no problem.
So now, Big Show's been on a little bit of a dominant run as the ECW champion. So let's go back, Steve, as we will. So Rob Van Dam loses the ECW title to the Big Show July 4th, 2006, after getting caught with drugs and getting suspended. Then we think that, Kurt Angle's going to be in ECW for long. And he asked for his release prior to SummerSlam, but he doesn't get released until September. CM Punk is basically, beating up guys and making them tap out to his Anaconda vice grip. I'm just bringing up a lot of points going into this pay-per-view, because there's also going to be the fallout, which I will explain afterwards. So you have CM Punk making everyone tap out to his vice grip. Test makes his return. Test makes his return to ECW, where he's been beating up, Tommy Dreamer. Sabu's just been having squash matches, where he's winning, and but he also has a really great match with Big Show at SummerSlam. So the Big Show's been on a run. Rob Van Dam comes back. Van Dam wants Big Show all to himself. So he's been going through every cast by Paul Heyman. But then when Van Dam wins the right to face the Big Show, Paul Heyman puts it into an Extreme Elimination Chamber. So the Big Show is going to be fighting, as we said, he's supposed to be fighting Bobby Lashley, Sabu, CM Punk, Test, and Rob Van Dam. Sabu gets taken out tonight, and Hardcore Holly becomes the sixth man into the Elimination Chamber, taking out Sabu. Steve, what did you think of the build-up to? Remember a lot that I said and everything that has transpired in the months leading up to this pay-per-view. What did you think of ECW as a whole?
I think by this point you knew that the initial vision that I think Paul had for this brand was probably not much longer. It was very interesting. I thought the build was actually pretty good for the match. RVD's been chasing that title rematch since the summer, and finally Paul says, okay, you're going to get it, but you're not going to be the only one that gets it. So he keeps putting the screws to him. I think the mix of guys for the match was pretty good as well. I think by this point you knew where they were going, that they saw Lashley as the guy to be the new top face on the brand. And it's funny because because you're right, Big Show's been having this great run as champion, but he's just been looking so bad in terms of his health, and it's just kind of unfortunate that he's finally 7 years now in the company. This is the best he's probably looked, in that entire time. And at times he looks like he's, near death. So, I think he knew his time was probably going to be, coming up here, that he might take some time away. And, they, like I said, they just want to get ready to transition and kind of have Lashley be the next big guy on ECW, since it seemed like he kind of got lost in the shuffle on SmackDown. And they knew they wanted to make him a top guy, but they didn't want to have him play second fiddle to Batista over on SmackDown. So that's why they moved him here.
Yeah, I agree as well. I mean, having Batista on SmackDown didn't really help Bobby Lashley, but he did have a great run as the United States champion, beating JBL right after the whole. I believe that was at Judgment Day. Yeah, not at Judgment. The SmackDown after Judgment Day, Bobby Lashley beats JBL for the U.S. title. So he was the U.S. champion at the time, and then he makes the transition over to ECW because Batista just came back too after injury, and Batista becomes the world heavyweight champion. So here is the backstory to the fallout of this pay-per-view. Paul Heyman, it's been said on record that the real reason why Paul Heyman got fired, and Paul Heyman does get fired, and he doesn't come back until, I don't know, Steve, 2012, I believe.
Yes, he comes back right around as they start building Triple H and Brock at SummerSlam.
Yep. So, from what I read is that they had their disagreement on who should walk out of the Elimination Chamber and the pay-per-view as champion. Vince McMahon wants Bobby Lashley, and Paul Heyman wants CM Punk. I don't know if he wanted CM Punk to win, but he wanted CM Punk to go on a run and just make everybody tap out to the Anaconda Vice Grip and walk out as the ECW champion. And so Vince McMahon just had enough of Paul trying to get what he wants. And, Vince always has the final say, but Paul just wouldn't let it go. And he kept on budging and budging until Vince was like, Paul, you know what? We're going to have these disagreements all the time. I'm going to have to let you go. And that was like legit it. Vince McMahon just had enough of Paul Heyman and his constant arguing and not just letting things go. And if you weren't going to do it Vince's way, he let him go because, Vince wanted Bobby Lashley. And I think it's like it comes down to what Vince wants. And Vince really wants Bobby Lashley to become ECW champion here. Your thoughts, Steve, and what you heard about this?
I think just here, I know we kind of have the volume down here, but just hearing Paul's little promo there at the beginning, I think you could definitely tell he was checked out. He had this, this whole this whole big thing of what he wanted the brand to be when it came back in June. And it was kind of, conflicting with Vince and, like you said, the back and forth, and then kind of like, the final straw here with Vince being animated about having Lashley as champion. I think Paul just kind of saw the writing on the wall. He was just like, I'm done with this. I want out. And, I feel like I've heard rumors too that, one of the other initial plans they wanted was for Lashley to win, but then he turns heel and is revealed to be Paul's new guy. Like he get Big Show, with Big Show stepping away, Lashley was going to be kind of like the next big heel to be by Paul's side. And I guess they again just didn't want I think Vince was, he wanted Lashley to be the top face of the brand. And I think this is also kind of where you see I think where Punk kind of starts seeing the writing on the wall, because I think, like you said, he felt maybe he was going to get a good run here, and he was he was a Paul Heyman guy, and I think we kind of see it takes him a while to kind of get going shortly after this, as we'll see, but it was just a really weird time, and I think the brand could have still done well in the coming months if they maybe had dropped the ECW name after Paul had left, and they switched it to another name. I think we'll see in the years to come what the brand becomes, and having like the ECW name attached to it, I think was an albatross that just kind of weighed it down too much.
Yeah, indeed. And I think that even like Paul said, has been going on has said in interviews that he wasn't a factor of bringing back ECW, and he sort of just wanted to bury it and leave it to rest. But I guess he saw potential in CM Punk and others and thought this might actually work, but then Vince McMahon took over. Because really, it's Shane McMahon who had an itch for ECW too. So we got the Big Show walking in, and he took the barbed wire baseball bat, And now we have CM Punk here. Oh man, the Big Show. I don't know if you thought. I thought the Big Show looked bad here.
Yeah, he's not. He's definitely. He's not looking too good here.
Nice to give CM Punk the nod. I mean, they got the nod at Survivor Series, but to be put in a match like this as well. So he's about he is 6 months into 5.5 to 6 months of his career is here in the WWE and ECW. Did CM Punk do any impact before WWE?
I think he did. I think when he was doing I think it was because I know TNA and Ring of Honor had a little talent exchange in like 03, 04. I think that was right around when Punk was doing the feud with Raven. That he kind of showed up. That he showed up in TNA for a little bit. I don't think it was for long though, because then, like I said, I think by 05, he's got the feud with Joe, and then he had then, like I said, he signed with them, but then they made him the world champion. He did the whole summer of Punk in the summer of 05. So if he wasn't TNA, it was only for a very brief time.
So now we have CM Punk with the chair. I think Big Show is going to be, I don't know if he's done after this pay-per-view. I have to remember, but I know that he's not long, and he's gone by January of 07. I heard that it was going to be Big Show versus Hogan at WrestleMania 23 for Hogan being in Trump's corner and Big Show being in McMahon's corner. That was like a rumor.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't remember if you heard that one, Steve.
No, I heard that one. I think, and I do think, I think shows on the next ECW that you and Michael talk about, and then I think after that he's done, because I think I read they offered to extend his contract, but he said he declined it because, again, like I said, I think he knew that he needed to get his health in order first before he attempted to continue on here. And speaking of health here, Test is looking incredibly unhealthily jacked here. I mean, he is insane.
Yeah, I kind of like this Test. Everyone says it should have been him at the Survivor Series 1999 main event.
I mean, I remember when he came back and they announced he was going to be in ECW. I thought it was a good, he was a good addition because he had been gone for a while and now he was, back. I thought he was a good veteran presence for the brand. And yeah, I mean, we'll see. He kind of gets a little bit of a push here, but yeah, he just looks so. I mean, if he didn't look like he was about to burst out of his skin, I think he could have lasted a little bit longer.
Yeah, he's not long for WWE because I believe in 2007, maybe mid 2007, he is in TNA as Andrew the Punisher Martin.
Yeah, and then I think it was 2 years later in 09, he died. He passed away.
Yes, Test does pass away in 2009. But I really like I like the Test jacked look here. I thought Test could have Test was a good powerhouse heel here. He still got the big boot, and he had that nice swinging neckbreaker too as a finisher.
Mm-hmm.
But Big Show looking on, so I guess it's going to be Bob Lashley's going to enter the chamber. So it's going to be Rob Van Dam versus Hardcore Holly starting off first.
Mm-hmm. And they showed Test had the crowbar in his pod, so Lashley has the pod with the table in it.
I wonder if Rob Van Dam and Hardcore are going to come out with weapons, or are they just going to play it off when the other four guys get in? That's when the weapons will start. I'll have to wait and find out. I think it was a good move to start off with. I mean, you could have gone CM Punk versus Hardcore, but I think it was nice that they started off with Rob Van Dam versus Hardcore. But why not let Rob Van Dam have the I mean, everyone's got to be somewhere. So you could have had CM Punk versus Hardcore start off.
Yeah, but you also could have, if Paul, they wanted to continue the angle of Paul putting the screws to RVD, because said hey, you'll have to start the match off as the first guy in it. So they could have done that as well.
Mm-hmm. I thought Hardcore Holly came out with brass knuckles. What did you remember, Steve?
I was going to say, I thought it was, I remember at the time thinking it was interesting that we had 2 Elimination Chambers in 1 year, because we had the one back in at New Year's Revolution that Cena won, that led into the Edge cash-in of the Money in the Bank. So it was kind of cool seeing 2 Money in the Bank matches in 1 year, because we hadn't seen it before.
Oh yeah, the 2 Elimination Chamber matches. Yep. Yeah, because there's no back-to-back. There's no double Hell in a Cell in 2006. They went with 2 Elimination Chamber matches. RVD getting the pop like he always does. RVD's not going to be too. He's going to be here for a couple more months, but he's gone in 2007 as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does the. I think he has I think the feud with Orton is the last we see of him for a while.
Yeah, but he was part of. He was part of the ECW originals versus the New Breed feud. And that was that was kind of going well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys will get into that here soon too.
Yeah, but this seems like the last big highlight for 2006 of ECW. A lot of the highs and lows in 2006. I mean, you could say that this is probably an in between. So it's a 5-minute interval before the next competitor gets in. As I was saying, this pay-per-view leaves with, I don't know if the fans leave happy that who wins this match, but it does seem like a low point from the business standpoint of WWE and Paul Heyman's relationship as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember after he had left, I don't think anybody ever expected that he would return. So, when he did come back in 2012, I think it was a pleasant surprise for everybody, and the fact that he's, it's been 10 years now almost, and he's still there. I mean, that's it's pretty impressive to think about. But obviously, Paul, when he came back in 2012, is much different than what he is, than where his mindset is right now.
Yep. I think that Paul needed to grow up and realize that, hey, I made a mistake. And Vince is always, I think Vince and Paul, you can send Paul home so many times, but that door is going to always be open. I love, I admire, I love RVD's gear here, the dragon on the front. Oof. Lands hard on the steel floor there. So RVD and Hardcore Holly are starting this off. Oh, he lands, but then he he's caught up in the turnbuckle, slammed onto the steel by Hardcore. And we're almost at the 2-minute mark here. They're already using the Elimination Chamber. So who's gonna come out first, and what weapon is it gonna be? We're almost at the should be under the 2-minute mark now, but that also plays into a factor. Who's coming out, and what weapon is coming out as well.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's looking on, of Hardcore Holly and Rob Van Dam here. Hardcore going up to the top. Oh, not too much there, so he just gets the kick to the face. Yeah, I don't think they needed to do a lot with Van Dam and Hardcore here. I think they just need them just to buy time until the first weapon comes into play. But we'll see here. Is it going to be the Rolling Thunder? Oh, he landed the Rolling Thunder. Ooh, onto the outside. Oh, I forgot. You're 2 seconds behind me.
No, it's fine. No, it's all good.
Oh, he landed that Rolling Thunder. That's gotta hurt for Hardcore.
Well, if you think about it, RVD's the only one of these guys that's had experience in this in the chamber, because he was in the very first one in it's 02 Survivor Series, so he knows how to use it to his advantage.
And he almost killed Triple H in that match.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was so bad. He landed right on his lungs.
Yeah, well, yeah, right on his throat. Oof.
Yeah. But I think I feel like the time is being slowed down a little bit, between intervals. It seems like they want to speed it up and get all the guys in there, but now they're actually taking their sweet time here. We're almost down to the 30-second mark. So who's going to be the first out of the 4 in the chamber pods to make their way in with their weapon of choice? Now, this was kind of you didn't really know what was going to happen with the Elimination Chamber, because this was one of the, before they rebranded, they redesigned the Elimination Chamber where, the door would either come unhinged or, something bad was going to happen.
Mm.
We'll see the Elimination Chamber got a lot safer as time went on. Oh, who's going to be the first one out of the 4 with the weapon here? And it is CM Punk and his chair. CM Punk getting ready to hit someone. Oh, he just throws it right at Hardcore. And, diving clothesline to RVD. CM Punk coming in hot, Steve.
Yep, crowd is excited.
Oh, he gets hit back with the chair by RVD. Rob Van Dam catches it and he throws it back at CM Punk. So that's gonna give him a little dazed and confused. Paul Heyman looking on oh crap, this is gonna be good. I hope so. He thinks it's gonna be good. Oh, a monkey flip back into the chair by Rob Van Dam. Oh, no. Oh, diving leg drop into the chair. Whoa.
Something RVD usually does in his matches.
So I think Punk and Van Dam are expressing their karate maneuvers. Or martial arts maneuvers, yes. Using of the feet. We've seen CM Punk do this before, but RVD and Hardcore Holly usually are the ones that are getting their heads smashed into the chairs. You see that the chairs in the turnbuckle over there.
Was looks like RVD got busted open over his eye.
Oh yeah. Oh boy, is it gonna be? Oh, and RVD goes head first, just like in that match. Oh, RVD is opened up big time there.
Oof.
You think that was by accident, or you think that was a blade job?
Judging by the positioning of the blood, I think it was oof. Nasty bump there by Punk. I think it was Hardway.
Oh, okay, so it's not like they wanted to blade like so easily. 1, 2. Oh, and CM Punk got slammed into the like a bat almost.
Mm-hmm.
He got slammed into the chamber there, but only for a 2 count. So everyone still who's in the ring now is still in the match.
The crowd has their favorite as the Punk chants are going on.
Oh yeah, I can't even tell what they're chanting. It just says crowd chanting on my end. Still got 2 minutes left. Good. I would say good intervals, not too short of an interval. So a lot of wrestling between guys coming in, and a lot of the usage of the weapon as well. Not even with the cage too, like the chair, and as we'll see more of the weapons come in. So good intervals.
Mm-hmm.
Not speeding up the clock. Everyone gets their licks in. At this point, like it does seem like I guess minus the Big Show, like and RVD, anyone could have really walked out of the Elimination Chamber the champion, but I think they really just wanted to go with Lashley. But you could see Hardcore Holly winning or CM Punk. I mean, Test could have been a good heel champion as well, given how like in shape he is.
Yeah, I would have. I think I probably would have. If I had to pick, I probably would have said Test over Holly. I don't think Holly was was gonna probably walk out of here as champion.
2. Yeah, I think Vince still remembers the Royal Rumble 04 match with Hardcore and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
So the next competitors coming in as there's 10 seconds left on the clock. Who's going to be next with their weapon of choice?
Ooh,
So 3 guys left.
Oh, nice kick by RVD there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Test. Oh boy, here comes Test in the crowbar. Oh! Oh my God! Oh, that's got to be that's insane. What Test is doing to RVD right now?
Mm-hmm.
Literally just ripping them open with that crowbar. Oh,
yeah, I thought that. Yeah, I thought the crowbar was a good choice for a weapon because it's a weapon you don't see all the time being used. So it was a nice for them to pull like a different weapon as opposed to a standard one like the Singapore cane or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't think I saw a lot of crowbars in ECW used as weapons. Saw the kitchen sink and the cheese grater at one point.
Yeah.
Hardcore Holly and Rob Van Dam continuing where they left off in that match. Oh, Test gets a shot. So Van Terminator. Oh.
Oof.
RVD doing what he does best. Oh, is he going off with a frog splash? It looks like a 5-star frog splash. Oh.
Oof.
Van Dam is split open here. And one.
Yeah, now I'm thinking
two,
that maybe it was a blade job. Oh.
Was. I think that was a slap to Paul Heyman because he wanted CM Punk to make everyone tap out.
Yeah, well, you could. Well, crowd wasn't happy about that one, and
He just big booted hardcore. 1, 2, 3. No, hardcore Holly gets in too right away.
I think they botched it because the ref didn't hit the mat for 3. I think he thought hardcore was supposed to kick out.
I
don't know what happened there,
Steve,
but
bad spot. So I guess Vince was like, well, I'm going to stick it to Paul, and my guy and CM Punk is going to get eliminated first. It's Rob Van Dam.
Well, I think they tried to. Well, that's why they had. I think that's why they had RVD eliminate him to try to soften the blow. But yeah, crowd's not having it.
Oh yeah. So Van Dam is going to go for the 5-star frog splash above the chamber. Then you see Big Show got his hands through the chains. Oh. That slams him now. Test cheering on. Big Show having Test do all the dirty work.
Yep. Well, now Test on top of the pod.
Oh, he landed. Holy crap. 1, 2. Oh, I don't know.
Being props to Test for doing that bump.
Yeah, but I don't think that they should have
well,
two heels.
Well, they clearly wanted both RVD and Punk out, so Lashley would get all the support. But like I said, now I think the crowd is just now they know what's going on. That's why they're not too thrilled about this.
I think that you could have gotten. I think you could have had RVD eliminate Test and have Big Show eliminate RVD. I think that should have been RVD, Lashley, and Big Show as the last 3 guys in the chamber. Yeah, very surprising that Test is one of the 3 finalists.
Well, like I said, I think they had plans for him, so I can understand why they had him as one of the final 3. So.
Mm-hmm. Tess is struggling a little bit to get up. Would be pretty funny if Big Show came in, then they were just like, "Oh, I'll just help you. We'll heal up." Big Show's got his barbed wire bat. Bobby Lashley's got the table. And here's nope, they're not opening up the door. Oh wow, that's actually a good move.
But it's like the thing is still chained and padlocked shut. Why has he got to hold the thing with the nightstick? It's already locked. Unless maybe it's unlocked. Maybe actually now I see. Yeah, I don't think I don't see the padlock, so I think it was unlocked. So I take back what I said.
Okay. Lashley thought he was going to get in there and destroy Test, but he got he's busting out. Bobby Lashley doing some good maneuvering. He smashes the table.
Yeah, that table not cooperating though.
Through the roof. Nope. Bobby Lashley does get out of his pod. So the Big Show's the last entrance. She's just going to go for a, nope, goes for a clothesline here. He sort of went through the table. Now Test's got the boot in his face. Oh! Test is getting dominated by Bobby Lashley. I don't know if they're going to try and do this, but I wouldn't eliminate Test before the Big Show comes in. I'd do it after Big Show comes in. Hopefully they hold on to him just a little bit longer. Test making a comeback, after getting slammed into the pods by Bobby.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they made him look really good in this match. I mean, get 2 eliminations. Like I said, taking that bump off the top of the pod, and now trying to come back here against Lashley. So they made him look really strong.
Yeah, but he got that diving elbow. So, Steve, let me ask you, do you think Test should have won the WWF title in 1999?
I mean, hindsight is, he was pretty over at the time, but
they went with the other direction. I mean, I just listened to I believe it was Marcus and JT, and they were going over they were going over Survivor Series 99 and Armageddon 99. Lashley just got the spear 1, 2, 3.
That's it for Test.
Yep. Why even keep the timer going? Just unlock it. He's the last person. Paul Heyman he's like, "Show, I'm done after this pay-per-view. I don't know about you, but I'm done after this. You're on your own. Enjoy the creative."
Yeah, that table's no more.
Yeah, it did not go the way that it was supposed to go.
Oop.
So we're down to our last 2 combatants, Big Show and Bobby Lashley. So all in all, this pay-per-view has some good, a lot of bad. Not a lot of bad, but it's got good, it's got bad, some downright ugly, but they tried something new.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing back and bringing back ECW in 2006. They tried something new, and it's not even that WWE presents December to December. They tried to just make it ECW presents December to Dismember.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's pretty much a shit sandwich. The opener was good. This has actually been good, but everything in the middle was just it's just nothing. It was you could have gotten everything in the middle. You could have gotten away with on on free television and not had to pay however much it was for the show. I mean, again, like you said, I get why they went about the way they did. They try to give it that old school ECW feel. And maybe in like the mid 90s it would have worked, but in 2006 with the guys they had, it just wasn't going to work.
And their bodies are like broken down too, like the ECW originals are broken down in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Lashley over here dominating the Big Show.
Oof, right through the pod.
Slam right into the pod. Big Show just slammed right out of that pod himself.
Yep.
Whoa! Nice toss
nice.
back into the ring. Oh, Big Show's busted open. Ew.
Yep.
See that drool just come out of him?
Yes.
Ew.
He's just looking, I mean, God bless him if he's trying, but he's just not, not looking good.
Yeah, he looks like he just had another cup of coffee and the caffeine is like making him all droopy.
Mm-hmm.
Choke slam, nope. DT.
Oof.
That's how a lot of Big Show choke slams got countered in ECW. Everyone was doing the whole DDT. Do you think this match was a little bit rushed?
A little. I mean, I'm just looking at we're looking at the timer right now. The show itself is only 2 hours and 14 minutes. So, I think it was just a, we talked about it earlier, how like going into the show, only the opener and this match were the only advertised matches. And in between, we only had four matches. I think it just played to the lack of depth that ECW had.
1, 2, 3. Oh, that's how it ends. Oh, gee. Yep. But Bobby Lashley is now the new ECW champion. But yeah,
and he did get a good pop. He did get a good pop. I'll give him that. He did get a good pop, but not but I don't think it was. I'm sure it probably wasn't as big as I think they were hoping.
Yeah, they're not jumping up and down over here.
Yeah.
I also heard that this pay-per-view does get shortened pretty well for pay-per-view time, so it doesn't go off at 11. It goes off around, I think they said 10:40, 10:45, like from a 3-hour standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Lashley is the new ECW champion. Paul Heyman's got his head down, I can only imagine what probably happened after the show went off the air. Because we know that Paul Heyman was gone before the show started, that Vince had let him go in a way. There was a parting of the ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think honestly, I think what I think they should have done is I think the match was good. I did enjoy it. I gave it if we're going grades, I would give it 3. I would have given it 3.25. I think the biggest issue I have with it is if you're not going to have, because I think going in, I think most were expecting Punk to win because he was because I think that's where they thought they were going. And I think what they should have done is they should have just taken Punk out of the match, just had him and Knox had like one final blow off match at the show. Maybe do something like where Punk wins, Kelly gets her freedom from Knox, and then you just put somebody else in the match. You put Sabu in, or you put like Sandman or Dreamer in it to kind of give it a little bit more of a someone
ECW edge,
right.
ECW
Plus someone that
sparkle.
Yes, plus someone that isn't going to be to split, kind of take some of the heat again away from Lashley. Like, I didn't have a problem with Lashley winning the match. I know I get where they wanted to go. And it was fine because, again, Lashley was a guy that they saw as, a top guy, and they wanted to take ECW in a different direction. So I thought he was the best guy to do it. But I think, yeah, you take Punk out of the match, put somebody else in there, have Punk and Knox do their final blow off, and you keep the opener as is, and then and I think it would have helped the show a little bit, maybe not a lot, but I think it could have helped it a little bit because like I said, I do think Punk suffers a little bit going out of the show, and obviously you and Mike will get deeper into it as you go through the television, but I do think it hurts him to be in this match and get beat like he does.
Yeah. But I also think that's because of the backstage politics of Vince McMahon and Vince and Paul, having their little spat. And, he's got the last word. He got the last laugh to Paul in a way because, Paul was pushing way too hard for Punk. And Vince was like, you know what? I'm going to have him get eliminated first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Steve, I don't even know how to ask, but I guess 1 out of 5, I'll say. How would you even grade that? Like, what would you give this? I'm going to say 1 out of 5 here. Like, because I don't even think it reaches the potential of 1 out of 10, so.
Yeah, 1 out of 5 sounds about right. I mean, like I said, opener was fun, was good. The main event was good. Everything in the middle was just not just bad. I mean,
what I was saying was like 1 to 5, because it doesn't have the potential of going 1 to 10. But would you say it's a 1 anyway?
Oh yeah, it's definitely one of the worst shows they've done. I don't know if it's the absolute worst they've done because we've had some bad ones before, and we'll definitely have some bad ones going forward. But I think it's definitely a bad show, and it was it was a kind of a sad end to this original kind of like the ECW that we thought we were going to get when we had One Night Stand back in June. It died a very slow, painful death here.
Yeah, you're right. It felt like it just got like, it was like the lethal dose of poison. It was like one bad thing after another happening, RVD, Kurt Angle, this and that, tit for tat, basically, of like all the negative stuff. And it culminated to this big pay-per-view that I guess they thought that this would bring the spark, and look what happens. Big Show's gone. Paul Heyman is gone, and Vince McMahon is fully running ECW with his writing team. Well, Steve, it's going to bring an end to the December 2 Dismember pay-per-view. But, Steve, before we go, do you have anything that you want to plug for the Place to Be Nation?
Absolutely. So, as you did mention earlier, I do have 2 shows over on the PTB and Pop Experience. I have Pop Goes the Classics with myself, Andy Atherton, and Miranda Berthold, where we are going through all of the Disney animated films. We are currently deep into the Disney Renaissance and about to hit what I affectionately call the Trinity of Greatness with Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and The Lion King. Obviously, arguably the 3 greatest films that Disney has ever done. We get get great deep dives into those. And then, of course, as you said, and then, of course, I also have Making Mount Rushmore, where I have on a different panel, and we just discuss various topics. Actually, the most recent episode, you yourself were on, along with John Casalika, where we talked about who we would have as our Mount Rushmore of movie athletes and movie coaches. That was an idea, of course, given to us by our dear friend, the late Calvin Crowell. So that episode was dedicated to him. Other than that, you can always find me over on the PTB Facebook page. Lots of great discussions going on over there. We have daily questions. We have bi-monthly tournaments that we do. So lots of great stuff going on over there.
Yeah, well, as for my co-host today, who had technical difficulties, Michael Cook, he does the WWE Pick'em. You submit $10, and it's like throughout the whole entire like WWE season. Basically, it starts at the Royal Rumble, and it runs its course for the pay-per-view picks and the NXT takeovers as well. So check that out. As for myself, besides this podcast, Extreme Resurrection, like Steve said, I was on the latest episode of the Mickey Mount Rushmore Pop Edition, Best Movie Players and Movie Coaches, and on the over on the North South Connection podcast, I was a recent guest on the Ruthlessly Aggressive podcast with Jake Williams, and we discussed the January 3rd and January 9th Raw and SmackDown of that week as well. So check that out. Well, from Michael Cook and Steve Riddle, I'm James Gruenberg, and we will see you next time right here for Extreme Resurrection.
Can't you see I'm easily bothered by are you talking